Joint Aid Management, JAM, was founded in 1984 by Peter and Anna Pretorius. The establishment of this organization was inspired by a life experience that left Peter Pretorius changed forever. In 1984, he founded himself stranded at a food distribution point in Pambara, Mozambique, without any food, water, or even a change of clothing. In those 10 days, Peter witnessed the horrific consequence of starvation. Every day, more than 30 people starved to death. Every day, he helped bury the bodies of little children in trench graves. Being exposed to poverty, extreme hunger, and ultimate death at a place that was supposed to provide relief, Peter returned to South Africa and made the decision to dedicate his life to alleviate the suffering of the poor. Together with his wife Anne, they established Joint Aid Management.
JAM is a global organization which is focusing on working for Africa to eradicate hunger. And basically, we are having 3 to 4 areas we are covering. That is nutrition and health, food security and livelihood, water, sanitation and hygiene, and also emergency. In Sierra Leone, JAM is working in Tonkolili, but before we go to Tonkolili, Sierra Leone, JAM works in few countries in Africa: South Sudan, Mozambique, South Africa, Angola, and also we are starting programs in Rwanda and also Sierra Leone.
Two of the greatest challenges in Africa are hunger and sustainability. Hunger, because there are still millions of children who go to bed hungry and still so many who lose their lives to starvation. Sustainability, because we cannot feed hungry children forever, we must arrive at a place where the people of Africa can help themselves.
The sustainability is embedded in our program design, such that we are looking at how will we hand over, because we are not here forever. That is why we are doing a lot of community involvement, just from the grassroots, where we are training the mothers to be cooks, to cook for the children. We also plan to take them, go through the system whereby they are also tested, go for health checks.
Since its inception, JAM has progressed as an aid organization that reflects strong expansive developments in Angola, Mozambique, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, South Africa, South Sudan, and Uganda. In just 3 decades, JAM served more than 1.6 billion miles and has grown into an organization that affects sustainable change on the ground through programs to beneficiaries and communities in need of support and assistance.
The flagship program of this government is free quality education, and one component of free quality education is the provision of food for children, especially vulnerable ones. So JAM has been complementing government by providing food to vulnerable children in Tonkolili, specifically in Tonkolili, and some areas in Moyamba, and of course Boom.
Based on the schools we have just visited, I see a huge number of students. I saw them eating. Some of the schools we went, we met them, they finished eating. So we believe that the free quality school, the free quality program, and the school feeding program is actually going on well to complement the effort of the president.
JAM International Sierra Leone uses a multi-sectorial programming approach based on the theory that if the beneficiaries have to be resilient, then they should be empowered to access food, water, and healthy care.
That's one of the ideas of school feeding program, to increase attendance, to promote retention, to reduce particularly absenteeism, from the girl child, and to increase the attendance of kids, particularly that do not have access to schools at this time. So there has been an impact not just from JAM, but I want to thank the President for his initiative, because nationwide, everywhere we have been monitoring in the recent past and in the past few days, we've been informed about the surge in attendance due to school feeding.
JAM works with beneficiaries in Sierra Leone through support to farmers, schools and communities for agricultural production and food diversification, increase access to safe water, prevention and treatment of acute malnutrition among children and women, provision of school meals and emergency response. JAM is focused on the child and to ensure our programming will have lasting impact on families to support children grow healthily, learn, stay in school and get employment that will build a better living population that will endure external shocks and emerging emergencies.
We have to improve on the area of bringing more children. The government we are going to put more money, we are going to take more schools, because for us, the children of Sierra Leone are our children. The children of Sierra Leone is our responsibility to make sure they are given food so that they can be in the school to improve their learning and to improve their nutritional value.
We give them food, we want them to become, of course you attract them to come to school and they retain. And also the food is highly nutritious. If you look at the back of the packet, you could tell that it has all this nutrition values and things like that. So we want them to get this experience, and we want our kids to be in school, and we want them to just excel, give or take. So when we say we're doing school feeding in our schools, this is what we want, but then we want to go above and beyond of what we're having generally.
I went to Prep 5. I met about 335 pupils. I went to Prep 6. I met about 635 pupils. And when I spoke to the head teacher, he told me before this time they only have 100 people for Prep 5. Prep 6 they only had about 200 people. So now with the help of JAM and this school feeding program, we see that the turnout is very good. I want to say thanks to JAM, because they made us proud, and the goods actually meets the targeted beneficiaries.
JAM is a credible, I must say, a credible organization. I've done due diligence, so I talk from an informed point of view. They are credible. I've seen all their interventions in other countries and even in Sierra Leone.
In 2018, 15,000 school children were assigned to JAM to be fed with manna pack. From this figure was only reached with the inclusion to tiny reach to 88 government and non-government supported pre and primary schools in Tonkolele district in 5 chiefdoms. In 2019, 20,000 school children were fed with manna pack and CSB Plus for preschool and lower primary school from 88 government supported and non-government assisted pre and primary schools. In 2020, April to May, JAM in partnership with Plan International fed over 10,965 school children in 6 districts, namely Bo, Bonth, Moyamba, Potloko, Pujon, and Tonkolele. In 2020 December, JAM fed 4,777 school children in Tonkolele district with take-home reaction for 14 feeding days. This was done under JAM funding. In 2021, JAM is feeding 9,041 children in Tonkolele district, covering 3 chiefdoms in 30 schools. This is supported by government of Sierra Leone. In 2021, JAM is feeding additional 11,400 children in 43 schools in 2 chiefdoms. Feeding activities is going on. In 2021, 112 MT of manna pack per position in 77 schools. Yoni chiefdom to feed 17,029 children. Feeding activities is not yet initiated due to budget constraints. Training of 65 cooks completed in February 2021. 147 schools assessments completed in collaboration with National School Feeding Secretariat in January 2021. Joint supervisory monitoring visit was conducted to schools in March 2021. In 2017, JAM, in collaboration with Agopido, a South Africa farm, conducted soil analysis in Tonkolili district, Yile, to guide the composition of mineral content of the soil.
Food security and livelihood. JAM did a lot of work in Tonkolili in 2017-2018. We did a lot of soil, we tested the soil so we know what can be grown where and where. So we started by developing the commercial farms, but we realized that the commercial farms done by JAM will not empower the community. So we handed back the farms to the community, and now we are working with this community as small agriculture farmers to produce vegetables, to do fish ponds, so that we can have diversified diet for schools. So that's what we are doing, and we're also supporting homegrown agriculture for schools. So apart from just feeding, we are also encouraging children to have school gardens so that they learn, so that we don't have this problem in the future like behavior change for adults. We want to develop behavior when the children are young. What they learn in school, they apply at home.
In 2019, 30 schools were supported to establish school gardens in their schools. Currently, JAM is working with smallholder farmers in their farms where soil analysis were done to increase food availability and dietary diversity and value chain support.
We will be supporting these people that own this land, from which we lease for 2 years. We've done a payment. Now we use, going forward, that money we use to pay them to do the agricultural farming on their own. However, we'll be supporting them with agricultural tools, we'll be supporting them with tractorization. We use that money to train them, we use that money to provide seeds for them so that they cultivate. At the end, they harvest and then sell to JAM. We'll process that food and then we supply the schools to ensure that we no longer import food from outside our borders.
In 2019, JAM constructed one solar power borehole in Yile at SDA Parkful Mayafo Primary School. The borehole served 350 pupils in the schools and 2,700 community members.
This is the facility where JAM give paid money for community and the school as part of the wash intervention for the school feeding process.
If they're taught hand washing, they're taught nutrition, the food they're supposed to eat, they need to transfer all this knowledge and skills at home. So in future, we will be having healthy families in Sierra Leone and Tonkolili.
JAM has built the capacity of water management committee through training and material support for repairs of water testing. JAM operates from 2 offices, one in Freetown and one in Tonkolili, and have 21 contracted national personnel, 2 expert personnel.
We are looking at the forefront staff, personnel. They should come from the local community in Tonkolili. Another thing is that we are working with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, the National School Feeding Secretariat. They also have their monitors here who work very closely with our monitors. So the handing over process is not starting at the end, but it starts at the beginning. So we work along with them. We have now involved the Ministry of Health, the Department of Food and Nutrition to come and look into really those technical nutrition aspects of the program so that we can work together with them. So that handing over will not be a handing over. We started it in our program design.